And, Tom, I've got my panel rankings here,
Yes.
so let's go through all of the names. I'll count you guys down from number 10 all the way to number 1 for the AT&T Byron Nelson power rankings. And starting off with number 10, we talked about him earlier in the show, Beau Hossler. And practices here at Trinity Forest. Last 5 events, the form has been okay. T46, T34, T51, T16, and a second here at Houston. The only thing with Beau is his stats aren't great. Irons aren't great, but still converting and doing okay in terms of birdie or better percentage as well. So as long as he can do that and grind throughout the golf course here this week, with that course knowledge as well, Tom, that's going to bode well for Beau Hossler. So like I said, only a handful of players really know this course like the back of their hand. Spieth, Hosler, Tony Romo, who's not playing.
Yeah, exactly.
But Hunter Mahan as well.
So I like the local kids, and I think maybe that's why I maybe convinced you over here to get Beau in the top 10, because he was going to be my dark horse pick, but I think he's too much of a favorite here based on the field. He's only 23 years old, so Beau Hosler is still a very young player. This has the potential, I think, to be maybe one of his breakout weeks where he finishes inside the top 5, inside the top 10, gets some more momentum going, some more confidence going at a course he knows very well. I like this kid a lot. I think down the road, maybe not necessarily this year, he's going to be contending more and more for actual majors.
And like we said, in a weaker field, some of these under-the-radar names can emerge here in the leaderboard. So Beau Hossler there at number 10. Checking in at number 9, this guy is an interesting character, Grayson Murray. Now, he is actually trending in the right direction right now.
He's fun.
Fun fact, he did once ask a Playboy model to caddy for him if he qualified for the Masters.
He's one of those golfers.
Yeah, so he's a birdie maker. 3rd in the field in birdie or better percentage, 17th in the field in strokes gained tee to green. So coming off the tee, the irons, they're great. He's converting on birdies, sits at 55-1 odds to win. So if you're betting in this tournament, I like that number a lot. Grayson Murray, a guy to watch out for at number 9.
This wasn't your dark horse, but I think this definitely qualifies as one.
Yeah.
Outside the top 100, but has played very well as of late, like you mentioned. And this is a guy that I could definitely see. We look at the leaderboard on Sunday and go, Grayson Murray's in the top 5? Wait, what?
You want to talk about momentum too, Tom. In Murray's last 24 rounds, he's 3rd in strokes gained tee to green. If you can continue that here at the AT&T Byron Nelson, it will bode well for you on the leaderboard. All right, let's go to number 8 in my power rankings here. And checking in at that number, we talked about Beau Hossler. We talked about Grayson Murray. How about Charles Howell III, one of the more consistent golfers out there, Tom? Yeah. He has yet to miss a cut here this season. Now, he's one of those guys who makes the cut, will finish top 25, never win.
Yeah.
That's who Charles Howell III is.
That's exactly the way to describe Charles
Howell.
That's
exactly what's going to happen this week. He's going to finish inside the top 25, maybe make some cash for some people in DraftKings and what have you, but that's it. I mean, he has a ceiling. His ceiling is top 10 finish at the very best. But 11th in the field in strokes gained approach. His irons are good. He's 9th in par 4 scoring as well. Solid wind player. Can play out of the bunker too, Tom. So Charles Howell III there at number 8 in my rankings, and a guy for DFS players out there to watch out for.
This was your safe pick. This is kind of that high floor, low ceiling type player among DFS. If that's trying to find one of those players.
So if you're playing cash out there, I think you should play Charles Howell III. He should be part of that core there. All right, so he's there at number 8. Let's go to the South African at number 7. His name is Branden Grace. So, Tom, I mentioned Chambers Bay back in 2015.
Yeah.
He contended. He was T4 in that tournament when Jordan Spieth won that U.S. Open. So if he can kind of carry that knowledge into Trinity Forest Golf Club here, he can certainly be atop the leaderboard. In terms of just pure talent, too, he's up there.
I think this makes a lot of sense. This is one of those guys. I'll mention a couple others that I think this course fits him well. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Chambers Bay. Birkdale, he finished tied for 6th as well. That's kind of the vibe we get for this course, and I think you could see a scenario here where Grace does finish into the top 10, maybe even contends, because we've seen him do it in the past. He's good enough to compete and win tournaments. I think this could be, again, not a favorite or a dark horse because he's inside the top 4 in the world, but I think this is a nice pick if you're trying to go outside those top couple guys based on the odds.
He's making cuts, too. Last 5 events, he is well inside the field there, so hasn't missed a weekend. And solid putter, too. 2nd in strokes gained putting in the field. So if he can ride the momentum with that flat stick, watch out. He'll start dropping birdies like never before. So there you go. Branden Grace there at number 7. Let's go to number 6. Rory, not McIlroy, Sabatini. How about this guy? We haven't heard much about him.
You would.
in quite some time. The last 5 events, T30, T27, a miscut, T23, and T70. And for Sabatini standards, he's actually playing pretty well. Short game has been trending in the right direction. Sand game has been great as well. So usually the deal with Rory Sabatini is he plays well at the Florida courses, so the Valspar Championships and the Honda Classics of the world. That's when he usually contends. But for Rory here, I think he continues that good play there at the Florida courses and will play well at Trinity Forest Golf Club and perhaps even win this tournament. Talked about how the field isn't all that stacked. I think Rory could certainly be a guy to watch out for this weekend. He's an interesting character, I'll say that, kind of like in the Grayson Murray category.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised he's inside your top 7.
I bet you are, but hey.
I am surprised.
This is
You've
what we're
always
working
liked
with.
Rory Sabatini.
Yeah.
So I guess I get that one.
All right, so he's
Maybe.
there at number 6. Let's go to number 5. Watch out for this name, folks. Marc Leishman.
Now
the
we're
Aussie.
back on track.
Yeah, so he's a guy to watch out for because he's a good win player. His iron game is on point right now. You can look at the talent around him in this field. It's not the most daunting thing in the world, and he has competed at big-time tournaments too. Major championships, Tom. He's been in the hunt at British Opens before, at the Masters before. So Marc Leishman knows how to compete in the heat of competition, if you will. So number 16 in the world, I think he's a guy that will certainly make some noise here.
I agree. I think that Marc Leishman is going to finish top 10 this week at the very least. Because the field is lesser, I think this course does set up very well for his style of play. If we sit here Sunday afternoon, we're sitting here at the tournament and we see Leishman is in the top 5 or he's in contention to win on 18, I'm not going to be at all surprised. Now the big concern is the putting. That's the big area of, okay, if he putts well, he's definitely going to be in there. And I don't know how much of a factor the wind is going to be this week. It's going to be more hot.
It is Texas, but yes.
I think it's going to be windy. But if the wind does pick up, that's going to be fine for Leishman.
My key stats, strokes gained approach, par 4 scoring average, and birdie or better. He's top 10 in all those stats.
Yes.
So watch out for Marc Leishman there. Let's go to number 4, Adam Scott. You guys know him. He's a major championship winner. Number 65 in the world, though, Tom. It has not been the season that he wanted.
The past couple of years have not been as good for Adam Scott. Now he'll show the flashes, but the consistency, the week in, week out,
especially the putting,
being a guy that's always going to compete, being a guy that's competing in the majors, hasn't really been there. And it kind of shows, I think, with some of his more recent results. And he's missed a cut in the past 5 weeks. So he was much better at the Players, and I think that's a big reason why you have him at forking.
Yeah, he put a new driver in the bag, a new putter in the bag. You know how us amateurs can tinker with golf clubs here and there, Tom. Well, Adam Scott did it himself and finished T11 at the Players a week ago, so maybe he found something that week. And that's kind of one of the sneaky things with the game of golf is the finish may not indicate how well you're actually playing. We heard about it from Tiger Woods so many times. I could have fired a 64 out there if I really wanted to, and eventually he did fire a really good round at the Players last week. So sometimes that's all it takes to really bring it all together. So Adam Scott there at number 4 in our rankings. And then this guy, Mr. Consistent, I think he is Charles Howell III, but even better. Matt Kuchar here, one of the guys that will miss or make the cut continually on the PGA Tour this season, but may not win a lot.
I hate that he doesn't win enough. Because Kuchar should win a lot more tournaments, and he's always a safe bet to make the cut, a good bet to make the top 10, especially at the Masters, because he just loves that course, as so many players do. But I don't know if he's going to actually end up winning. And I feel like Kuchar is good to be number 3. Like, he might finish 3rd and just not quite find a way to win the event.
So he went toe-to-toe with Jordan Spieth last year at Birkdale, ended up finishing
again,
2nd.
Just right there, right on the precipice.
That's kind of been the MO with Matt Kuchar, has yet to capture a major championship victory, but maybe he can capture the AT&T Byron Nelson. He's at number 3 in our power rankings. Let's go to number 2 on the list. He's a Texan, and his name is Jimmy Walker. So how about this story here, Tom? Jimmy Walker was recently diagnosed with Lyme disease, has been battling with that throughout the PGA Tour season, and had his best finish since being diagnosed last week at the Players' Championship, finishing inside the top 5.
Past month or so in terms of tournaments have actually been pretty good. So I like seeing Walker this high on your list here, Cam, and I don't know if he's going to end up winning, but I think he's the guy that you'll see on the top half of the leaderboard Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's going to have very consistent rounds because, again, I think this course sets up up very well for him.
He's going to be one of the more chalkier plays out there in fantasy golf circles. You look at the last 5 events, and outside of that T73 there, the momentum is really picking up for Jimmy Walker. Good putter, very solid wind player. Of course, being a Texan, you have to be. And the driver is coming into form as well. So Jimmy Walker there at number 2, and with that checking in at number 1, obviously Jordan Spieth here has yet to win on the tour this year, but Tom, I went through a list of where he's first in the field and the stats, and there's actually more that didn't even talk about. So strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained approach and off the tee, greens to regulation, par 4 scoring, par 5 scoring, bogey avoidance, birdie or better. Need I say more why he's here on the first?
It's a no-brainer. Now, the reason he wouldn't end up winning is and I'll make note of this now because I'm gonna mention a lot of the local players here. When it's your home course, sometimes there's that added pressure of, oh, I'm supposed to win. I'm supposed to blow everybody out of the water because I know this course so well, and it can mess with your head a little bit. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Jordan, but what I think could be an issue is the putting has been off, and he has when he first kind of was on his dominance run there, he was one of the best putters. Just straight up, he was an absolutely incredible putter. And this year with the 41st finish in the cut, the putting's just been off.
Yeah.
Now, going back home, I think will help kind of solidify that issue.
Now, he finished the Players' Championship last week on like an 8 or something on 18, so a little bit of an inflated finish there for Jordan Spieth. So with that, I think you can throw that out the window. He has struggled at TPC Sawgrass many times before. In fact, he went into that tournament with 3 straight missed cuts and in his history at the tournament. So for this to be a fresh start, I think is certainly something to keep in mind with Jordan here. And easily the class of the field. There's no doubt about that. The stats all point to him. You know what's another thing to point out, too? Trinity Forge Golf Club really harps on creativity.
It does.
Jordan Spieth is one of those players, kind of like a Bubba Watson, who likes to use their creativity, their visualization of creating shots.
Not quite as extreme as Bubba.
Yeah, not quite as crazy as Bubba
can't hit it
with
straight.
the sidewinders and all that stuff. But Jordan Spieth at number 1.